Oh, hello.
Hello, Mr. Colbert. How did you even...
Also, Colin. Well, what's going on?
Oh, well, this is like a late show, like kind of like yours.
It's a show. Daily. It's late. Austin. Oh, music.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was such a tiny niche market you wouldn't notice, and even if you did, you wouldn't care. I'm just kind of in here in my own little world celebrating stuff like Willie's birthday, and now he's bigger than Austin, and that's a good thing. You love Willie, right?
In the twilight glow, I see her. Yep.
What are you doing here anyway?
Have you ever listened to a song from Lloyd?
Of course. He's actually one of my guests tonight.
Very nice man. I like singing just for fun.
That's amazing, Mr. Colbert. I kind of have a show to do, though.
Anything you want to say back? Any game you want to play?
No? Well, Stephen Colbert, everybody.
Live from Animated Studio 6A in Bob Schneider's Kingdom, Austin, Texas, it's the Damn Tonight Show with tonight's guests, Mandy Rowden and Jake Lloyd. Now here's your host, who really does think he can do whatever he wants, Colin McDonald.
Hello and welcome to the Damn Tonight Show. My name is Colin McDonald. Let's get into the headlines. Last week, Willie Nelson turned 87. In other news, Saudi Arabia bought stake in Live Nation, so I guess a name change is inevitable. Get ready for shows presented by Live Kingdom and Ta 3 Presents. I mean, come on though, are you really surprised these guys got in bed with the Saudi government? How Austin of you. You know, Live Nation and Saudi Arabia are very different, of course. One has been investigated by the U.S. Department of Justice for racketeering, was charged in 2013 with violating health and safety laws resulting in a death, and almost worst of all, sponsored an audio group that terrorized the United States for 3 years. And the other is, of course, Saudi Arabia. In other news, Bob Schneider is the king of Austin music?
Well, Bob Schneider is seen by many as the king of the music scene in Austin, Texas. He's won more than 50 Austin Music Awards to date, far more than any of his peers.
So, yeah, when you think of Austin music, you don't think of 87-year-old legend Willie Nelson. No, not SRV, not JJ, BS. Nailed it. In other news, Electric Ladybird Library is open for submissions again. How great to get paid. Selected musicians will be awarded $200 for a full length and $100 for EPs. There's a really cool local playlist to get you through the week. Loris Lowe's Local Licks has a playlist of some of the best songs from the last couple of months. Kaylin Karr released a video for Photo Booth. BOOHER released Boo Sides. And the Chronicle had a nice week with the Q&A whole video where Kevin Curtin asked the most important questions, and Islands in the live stream article, as well as the love letter to Austin music, which was, well, absence should make the heart grow fonder, right? Bueller? Leyline got a great write-up in Atwood magazine. John Laird wrote a really cool article, Beloved Austin Venues Find New Ways to Keep the Music Alive. Alyssa Goard had a great story on KXAN about the survey going around measuring the impact of COVID on the music community. And yeah, this must be the apocalypse news. Facebook is now going to allow artists to charge money for live stream access. Facebook. The kids bop of the tech industry. Hey, you like that feature? Let me take all the soul out of it, market to people that have disposable income and spend way too much time looking at a screen. We got a great show for you tonight with Mandy Rowden and Jake Lloyd. We'll be right back after this short message. DAWA is a safety net for people of color who are experiencing short-term life crisis. More specifically, people of color who are musicians, artists, social workers, teachers, healing practitioners, and service industry workers. These are the people who give to others, who serve day in and day out for a living, and who, along with their families, are often the highest risk for mental health, among other health crises. DAWA will relieve individuals and families one financial stressor at a time, replacing negative crises with direct support, so that those who serve and support us may have the space they deserve to pursue positive outcomes that they so often help others achieve. Welcome to the Damn Tonight Show. I'm here with Mandy Rowden. So my first question for people who don't know who you are and what you do, who are you and what do you do?
I was born at a young age. I'm sorry, I'll try to be serious. 13 years ago, I couldn't pay my phone bill after moving back home to Austin from New York City. On a total whim, I decided to throw together a women's guitar class. Thought I could pay my phone bill that way. And being the MySpace days, I made a MySpace page for this thing. I put zero thought into the name. this woman I had known at one point had suggested calling it girl guitar, but she said I should spell it like Gurl. And so while I think the name is kind of dumb, I at least am super grateful that I spelled girl the right way, not like extra R's or anything. And so, yeah, I made this MySpace page called Girl Guitar, and I started friending women in the Austin area who had listed music as an interest. Somehow I was able to scrape together 8 people who wanted to do this thing, and I was so short-sighted with it, I just simply wanted to pay my phone bill, and I did. We had such a good time. We kept it going. We're still going. We just celebrated our 13th anniversary. Now we have had classes kind of all over the country at this point, or at least in a lot of different cities, I should say. And we have everything from like beginning guitar and songwriting through playing any instrument in a rock band, all of it performance oriented, all of it getting folks up on stage, super community oriented, and just a whole lot of fun. It's a really super special thing that I'm proud of a lot. I can talk all day, but that's the truncated version.
Right. Well, and while you're doing that, you're still an artist, a songwriter. You're making records. Like how do you manage the two?
Well, they go hand in hand. You know, teaching makes you better at stuff. I learn constantly while I'm teaching, and whatever downtime I find, I do try to write and I perform. I tour somewhat when I can. Have put out 3 records now. I'm working on my 4th as we speak. I just do the hustle like everybody else, you know. You just make time when there is none. I don't feel like I'm on top of it, but I do seem to get things done.
Yeah, you really do. So do you have any idea of like the total number of people that have been through Girl Guitar?
Oh God. I added it up a few years ago. It's well over like 1,500 people. I'm not positive. I have no idea. I could probably figure it out, but it would take forever and I'd lose count.
Let's go into like, how are you now dealing with this? I know you're doing you got a video series that you're releasing. I saw like the tuning one, and the first one I saw was the getting your pick out of your guitar, which is like the best video ever. Like, talk to me about like your strategy now that we're all stuck at home. Like, how is Girl Guitar?
Well, the YouTube channel that I just launched was that was kind of a coincidence. That wasn't planned around the coronavirus. We were working on that anyway, and then it happened to kind of all start coming out at the same time that everybody got stuck at home. I think a lot of guitar is going to get played during the course of this pandemic, and so it just was kind of a natural time for people to be needing something to do. So that has taken off in a small way. Unfortunately, I've had to postpone our band classes. There's just really no way to do that via Zoom or Skype or anything like that.
Right.
And that to me is a huge bummer, but I'm super glad that we're able to do something.
I hope more people are going to be doing it now than would have before, because they have the time and we're lucky enough to have the technology to make it happen.
I hope so. I think we're fluctuating between people having time and needing distractions, and then also people just genuinely needing to save money. And that's a big part of it too. So the two might cancel each other out a little bit, but I'm respectful of all of it. And I'm putting tons of content up that's free. In our private Girl Guitar group, I'm putting up lessons worth of stuff every day, just trying to keep people distracted and happy.
And so kind of my goal with this whole thing I'm doing is like, in a couple of years, a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid is going to find it and be able to see like interviews with people that are actually making a living making music. So like to that kid, you're a perfect model because you've done so many things outside of the norm, but then made it this whole, I mean, Girl Guitar is a freaking enterprise. It's like, what advice would you have for like somebody trying to pay their phone bill?
You know, I really think you can make a living and a decent one in music, but the problem that a lot of people can't get past is that there's hardly ever like one income stream, you know, like a regular job where you just get one check or something. Yeah. It's a lot of little trickles. It's like infinity amount of trickles, you know? And so it's like, I gotta hustle those trickles all the time. That's the weirdest thing I've said all day.
That'll be the
But
intro
it's
of the video.
just constantly going out and getting tiny paychecks from a lot of different places, and it adds up to something totally worthwhile. And some people just won't do that, and it's just not in their personality. And I guess I understand that, but for me anyway, that's been what's made it work. I like that stuff, so it works for me.
It's a combination of patience and hustle, because you have to hustle to get all those income streams, but then you have to have the patience to grow them into from $7 into $20, you know.
Well, you know what? I have some badass gigs right now. Well, not right now because no one has any gigs, but before this hit, I have some things that are super cool, but they're because of something really stupid and crappy and lame and probably non-paying that I did a long time ago, because I played some horrible thing for absolutely nothing, but I met this person. We drank a beer together. We became buds. We fostered a friendship. Then I played this other thing with them several years later. And then, like, next thing you know, they're booking the club, or they're putting on a retreat in California and have the big bucks to pay me to come out and play. You know, you're exactly right. It's all about fostering this thing. Nothing that you play is about what you're doing right then. It's about the thing you're building. Right. So if you think of it that way, there's really never like a terrible night, even if you have kind of a terrible night. It's it could turn. I have so many stories of something super badass and unique that came out of something just horrible.
Right. and with you, like, you're a perfect example of that, because, and I've played with you and I've seen you at a ton of gigs. Like, I've never seen you, good gig or not, like, not engage with the people there. Like, that's part of this thing that we do, where you're like, there's other people there and you have to acknowledge their existence and like communicate with them and network with them. I mean, you've got to be like one of the best networkers, I think, in Austin, at least, if not like.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
Because you're a person, and you keep that through your art and through teaching. You know what I mean? Like, you have a personality that I don't want to say you use, but you're Mandy, man.
Well, I appreciate that. I think I know what you mean.
I hope it was a good thing.
A lot of that was the alcohol. No, but I like people. And one of the things I like about music is that it's a connection in a lot of cases. So it just goes hand in hand to play the music and connect with the people, not just show up and play the music. I don't know, that for some reason makes perfect sense to me. I wouldn't like this if it was just only play the instrument and walk away. The connection with the people is super important to me. I just like that. It's just in my personality, I guess.
It's got to be the reason we do this is 80 to 90% the hang.
Huh?
You know, and then like the other 10 to 20 is like, oh yeah, we get to like do the thing we like, but like with the people we like.
Yeah, because we're constantly surrounded by the energy of groups of different people, and the fact that no 2 days are the same, and we're never going to be in this routine.
So, hey, you started a Patreon. Tell me more about that.
I did start a Patreon, and I've been resistant to it for however many years it's existed, simply because I feel like most of what we do is begging anyway. And so I've been resistant to start a Patreon, but I started one just to put it out there and see if it would get any traction. I'm sharing all kinds of videos. It's very teaching based, more so than being about my own music. And it's really just a chance for people to donate if they want to. I'm not pushing it hard. I don't want to beg. I feel weird. I'm almost putting it out there saying, don't give me money unless you just have to. And if you have to, then the Patreon is there for you.
It goes back to the philosophy of the different streams of income. Like, you have to hustle that path. You don't have to promote it like you're begging, but like if somebody wants to give you something, you have to have the avenue open for them to do it. You know,
it's been up for a week and it's gotten a decent amount of traction, and I'm pretty excited about it. It's kind of fun to go on there and just post anything. People are asking me already for specific teaching videos, and it's cool to make something knowing that someone's really going to use it and wants it. There are a lot of people who've been taking classes from me for a long time who can't now because of this and that, but they wanted to be able to throw in a little bit of a donation to keep Girl Guitar going. I mean, I still have to pay rent through all this. It's not cheap. So I'm totally grateful for all of it, and it's awesome to have it there.
Mandy, thank you. Thank you so much for just being on the show.
My pleasure.
Be sure to check out Girl Guitar and the links down below, and Mandy's new record, hopefully out as soon as possible. We'll be right back after these messages. Hello and welcome to Daily Austin Music. My name is Colin McDonald, and this is Damn Senior, Daily Austin Music single review, made possible today by Spotify. And today we're going to be listening to the new track by Roger Blevins Jr., Sugar Coated. Now this thing it's a straight up pop song, it's a straight up feel good song, but most importantly, the melody drives the entire thing. I love Roger's sense of harmony and how tightly he can pack those chord formations together. This is a wonderful song, a great song to put on driving home from work or just at the end of a long day and you want to feel great. Now this is a much poppier track than you may be used to from the likes of Mingo Fish Trap, but it's so nice to see Roger come out with a single of his own. I can't wait to see what comes out next. He will be on the show next week, so be sure to tune in Wednesday at 7 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Damn Tonight Show. I am I'm here with Jake Lloyd, who has been kind of like killing it in quarantine with going live, and he's got new music coming out. But first, thank you for being here. Kind of for the people that don't know who you are, how would you tell them who is Jake Lloyd and what do you do?
Well, Colin, I want to say thank you for having me, man. And I would say Jake Lloyd, in my words, is one of the best kept secrets, if that's not to toot your own hornish. But I just feel like Jake is somebody who kind of has tried to put work in and work hard and is still making a name and still hungry and still, got the big aspirations and is kind of, getting a little bit of shine. So I think Jake Lloyd is a R&B singer, a rapper, a melodic rapper. I don't know, man. It's really hard. Sometimes I try to stay away from the R&B title because I never really thought of myself as a genuine R&B singer. But
right.
A guy who appreciates all music and is just really happy to be here, man.
Yeah. And see, and that's what I kind of loved about when I first heard Moonlit. Like, there's so much there, both in melody and actual, tangible music and music movements and stuff like that. But there's so much underneath that of influence. And then, like, since then, I followed you on social media. I've talked to you a few times. I've had you do a couple voices, which is awesome. Yeah. Thank you for doing that.
Which was hella fun. Absolutely.
But like, it's through kind of seeing you on social media and seeing like you're playing guitar and like the song choices that you have made your record make that much more sense. And I started to go, oh, that's the influence that sparked this part.
Right.
And
absolutely.
I can see why you're struggling with like the R&B thing. I struggled to put you in any kind of box right now, which is, I think, the best thing that you can do.
Honestly, dude, that's it. I agree, but it's been I feel like that's been not like an issue, but that's been something that's been part of the Jake Lloyd narrative for as long as I can remember. Right. You know what I mean? It's how do we categorize this guy? And like you said, I think it's a good problem to have. I like that because I love, like I said, man, if you listen to my stuff, for the most part, you can hear influences from a lot of different stuff. And the guitar is something that I've always wanted to do. And I have a close friend who's been teaching me some stuff, man. And he taking me as far as I want to go and then get me out there and letting me kind of venture out and just figure out some bar chords. And it's been fun. That's so, awesome. Yeah, dude, I appreciate you acknowledging the different songs. I try really hard on picking songs that don't sound the same, and we just moved into this new place, so I've been like trying to find different places to shoot the videos that are like different aesthetics, so keep people interested. So it's definitely, I appreciate the shout out, man. Thank you.
You sound like you're a guy that like grew up probably mixing with every crowd. Like you were with the punk kids, you were with the hip hop kids, you were with the rap and all that, and that built a character. Whether and we can get into the Lawrence versus Jake thing. Is Jake a character and all that if you want, but like building a character, being that kind of person and having truly diverse groups of friends and all that stuff sets you up as an artist to actually make music that more than one group of people like. Hey, Isn't that
Absolutely,
the damn
man.
goal?
That you
like,
yeah,
you know?
absolutely, dude. You are spot on, man. Like growing up, I grew up in Round Rock, middle class. I went to Stony Point, which was, it's Round Rock. It was, I guess, considered the troublemaker school for Round Rock. But I grew up in middle class and with a lot of, I played sports. So I had jock friends. I had theater friends.
Yeah.
It was just, I was one of those guys that was, I'm not going to say popular, but,
you were click fluid.
Yeah, click fluid for sure, man. Yeah, the music has kind of reflected that, and just me being just literally engulfed by music in general. I don't really care what it is. I am just one of those guys who eat, sleep, breathe music, man. I don't give a what it is. And I like it that way. I like to be able to show my range and to show like, dude, I like to be one of the guys that knows a little bit about a lot.
When you're talking about finding like different places in your house to film and stuff like that, like it makes so much sense that you would say that after listening to your record, because, and this goes back to the character thing. Once you've established a character that you're comfortable with and you know kind of how they're going to react to each situation, and you can put them in different situations, and then part of the art is finding the situation to put your character in. And I kind of feel that from you. So let's use that to transition to, you got some new music coming out on the 6th. Let's talk about that.
Yes, sir.
What do we have to expect here on Wednesday?
So Wednesday, man, I would expect more storytelling, which is something that I've really kind of, it's not something that I do on purpose really, but it's something that I've kind of, I guess, settled into with songs like Beijing off the Moonlit and, other songs. It's just always been part of my repertoire. It's been something that I look for when I'm listening to records. I love the stories. So this is another story, man. And it's some sounds that I don't typically use, but are very big inspirations and part of the sound, I guess, that I'm kind of moving towards. But this new record is definitely it's very new, and it's definitely some tones that I haven't played around with too much in the past.
Let's jump back. I want to talk about DS2 and kind of how y'all got together. And I want to get him on the show too. But
man, he would be elated.
Dude, I would love to
do the show straight up. Danny is my right hand man. Like Danny we always joke and say, we wouldn't be here without the other one, but I sincerely mean that, man. Danny is somebody that I'm real, I guess, small circled in nature. You know what I mean? So once I find somebody who thinks like me, works like me, has the same work ethic, wants the same me and Danny just we clicked, man. And we met at a point where we were figuring out, where we were trying to go musically. And it worked, man. Danny is somebody that I can sit down and bring an idea to. We work well together because Danny, his temperament is so different from mine. Danny is like, he's water, man. He doesn't really get real riled up. And me, I'm the guy like, what's going on? Why haven't we started playing yet? You know what I'm saying? So we complement each other. Dude, we met, crazy enough, I was going, a high school friend, we all went to Stony Point. Like we all went to the same high school. And I just come back from college in 2010 and I was going to do a hook for a homie. He just wanted SoundCloud, MySpace sort of stuff, nothing major. And I went over the studio we happened to be recording at was Danny's parents' house. He was living there and he had turned his bedroom into a studio, man. And I went over there and recorded the hook. The two guys that I went with to do the song, they were going to a party or something. And I looked at Danny. I was like, dude, I'm not going to no party, man. You look like you got your shit figured out. You got decent setup. You trying to make some music. Dude, we stayed there. We recorded like 5 more songs that night. Dude, the rest seriously is history, man. It's been Jake and Danny synonymous since like 2010.
That's awesome.
And we've worked hard at that. It's not by accident by any means. Like we've worked very hard and purposeful to make that happen. So
and you can tell in the music, and that's something like, I'm not making any comparisons, but like the last one that kind of comes to mind is like Timbaland and Justin Timberlake
and their kind of arc over that time. And like that's what y'all have. I mean, it started, but
that is something that we always have made the comparison to. Awesome. It's like a Justin Timberlake and Timberland. When you heard Justin Timberlake for that period of time, you knew Timberland was on the production. There was no question. You knew it. These guys were synonymous. Me and Danny were like we started off as, I guess, a production duo. And it's still something we work with now, man. Like, we want to be Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, you know, like producing records for cats.
I'm so happy that you got new music coming out, especially, but like, I'm so happy I found you early enough to watch whatever's coming up next and like this arc that's coming. Because I've truly enjoyed watching what I've found so far and can't wait to see what happens next. But man, thank you so much, dude, for being on the show. I'm going to reach out to Danny and have him on soon.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, no problem. We'll be right back after these messages. Austin Music Television on Channel 16 is made possible by Support Austin Music. Support Austin Music is a cooperative of Austin-based musicians and their supporters creating compilations of music videos for airing on Austin Public Channel 16. The music videos are compiled into hour-long episodes and are aired weekly. Check your cable provider for the specific channel, and Austin Public Access Channel 16 live feed is available on the website for those of you who are unable to get it on your television. Support Austin Music Television. Support Austin Music.